Hey there Nocturnals. Alright, now that we've got Vegas Movie Studio 13 Platinum installed, now let's have a look at the basics. How to bring media files in, how to create cuts. We'll also go into how to add audio tracks and how to edit video tracks so that you can layer them in your video timeline.
Let's go ahead and start a new project. Here you can see at the top the region that you're working with. On the left, you can see the different types of formats in the preset displays. We're going to stick with AVC HD, and on the right, we're going to select the project 1920 by 1080 50i, which is Full HD PAL. Then I click OK. Select the Project Media tab and go into Media Bins. So things don't start to get confusing, let's add a new bin and call it Footage. Let's create a second media bin by clicking back up onto Media Bins, right clicking and select Create a new bin. Let's call this Audio. Now let's select Footage and import into that folder. Select Add Media. You can either do this in the project menu or by using this icon right here. Now that we've imported our footage, we can select on it and we can double click, which automatically adds the file into our timeline at the 0 origin mark. We can bring another clip in by doing the same thing again and move the clips along the timeline by clicking on them, holding and moving the mouse back or forwards or up and down to slide it into the different tracks. Let's bring in some titles. First, we're going to use our logo and put it at the beginning of the timeline. In order to keep it separate from this track, let's add another video track. We do this by selecting a video track, then right click and select Insert Video Track. Or alternatively, you can use the shortcut Ctrl-Shift-Q. Let's name it Titles. We can change the name in this box by double clicking into it and then typing as normal. Now let's bring in our title graphic. Perfect. Here we can see in our preview window, when we press play, our title graphic comes in. You are seeing a low resolution preview. You can change the preview setting here. I'm going to choose full. You can see how this has quickly sharpened the image. You can also make this preview screen bigger by moving the timeline out of the way and by moving this window back or forwards. At the moment our project is set to 1280 by 720. This is because when we drag this footage in, this footage is only set to 1280 by 720. We want 1920 by 1080. So let's go change our project settings back to the way they're supposed to be. We can select it from the presets and find it here. HD 1080 50i, 1920 by 1080, 25 frames per second. We know that's PAL. Frame 25 frames PAL. Now we can see that the project and the preview are both set to 1920 by 1080, so we know we're working at full HD. We may want to zoom in on our timeline. In order to do that, take a look over here on your very far right of the timeline. There's a plus and the minus on the horizontal and a plus and a minus on the vertical. The plus and the minus on the vertical zooms in the track height or zooms out the track height, like so. We don't need to adjust that, but we do need to change the horizontal. So we select the plus here and the zoom in. And you can see it's given us a lot more visibility. So we can see what we're doing here with our title logo. At the moment, I'm not happy with the logo because it's very slow. So I'm going to speed it up. To speed up the time of a video track, right click on it, then select properties. In this case, I'm going to change the playback rate for that particular clip to 3, making it 3 times faster than it would normally be. Here you can see the end of the clip. In order to make sure that we're not repeating the clip 3 times, 1, 2, 3, we can grab here and either drag back on the event, or we can select using the cursor the point in which we want to cut off the video, and then use the split tool here. You can either click on it here in the timeline like this, or alternatively you can use the shortcut on your keyboard of the letter S. S for split. It's very easy to remember. Then we get rid of the rest of the video, and now if we look and play back, our logo comes in nice and quickly and gets straight to the business at hand. So let's select using the cursor, make a cut using the split tool, delete the excess at the beginning, and then drag back. We can see that this first clip finishes around here because the audio finishes there. So now let's make another cut and remove this excess. Let's do the same with the second clip. And finally, this time round, let's edit this by left clicking, holding and dragging to trim the event. Now we're ready to put in our end credits. Let's grab them and drag them down into the timeline. You can see there's some audio that goes with this as well. Because we want to control this audio separately from the main timeline, let's go ahead and add another audio track. Then we can drag this audio to the track above. This keeps it nice and separate from this audio. You can see also here in the tracks, there is a final timeline, a final track here for music. Let's go ahead and bring in some music. Select our audio folder and then add media using the add media icon. And here it is in the project media folder. Now we can drag it into the timeline. Additionally, if we want our music to be loud during the beginning credits and then to drop down when the audio begins for the dialogue, we can select just before the audio begins and create a split cut. And then by grabbing the end of the clip and dragging it over the first clip, it creates a crossfade. Now we can control the media of the second part by grabbing the top of the media in the track and pulling it down.
Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that lesson. Let's look at what we've learned. Today we've learned how to bring media files into the project media menu, how to drag those files into the timeline, how to create edits. We've learned how to add audio and video tracks, how to add title graphics. I think that's a pretty good lesson to start off with. Okay, I'll see you in part 3. Bye for now.